Hello, students, teachers, parents, history nerds. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nutshelled History, where we lay out the facts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We continue with our Early America series by looking at pre Columbian Native American cultural groups. You'll find a fill in the blank worksheet you can use down in the description below. Okay, let's go. Sorry, Christopher Columbus. American history did not begin in 1492 when you sailed the ocean blue. People groups were inhabiting North America long before you accidentally found the Caribbean and misnamed an entire group of people. And I'm sorry to the little ones out there that think that all Native Americans lived in teepees. People in North America developed unique cultures or ways of life. At least 3,000 years ago, knowledge of farming spread northward into what is now the American Southwest. Early societies in this region included the Hohokam and the Anasazi. The Hohokam lived in what is present-day southern Arizona. About 2,000 years ago, they dug a network of irrigation ditches to water their crops, which included corn, beans, and squash. The Anasazi lived farther north, where they built large buildings of stone and adobe. Later, when they came into conflict with warlike neighbors, they moved their community into homes along steep cliffs and farmed the cliff tops. Look at how awesome they built their dwellings. Slay. The mound builders began to emerge about 3,000 years ago between the Appalachian Mountains and the Mississippi Valley. The climate was not as dry as the one where the Hohokam and Anasazi lived, so they did not have to dig irrigation canals. They constructed large mounds to be used as burial places and later for religious ceremonies. Yes, that's how they got their name. One group of mound builders, the Mississippians, built a city at Cahokia where 30,000 people lived. That's a lot of homies in one place for this time. The American Indians of North America spoke hundreds of different languages and had many distinct cultures. Their cultures were influenced by the physical characteristics of the area where they lived. Scholars organized Native Americans into culture regions, or areas in which groups of people have a similar way of life. Home to many different tribes, each culture region shares some basic traits. In the Arctic, subarctic region, the people faced harsh climates. Yeah, it was freezing cold. The Inuit of the Arctic used all the resources their icy environment provided, collecting driftwood and hunting seals. They lived for most of the year in pit houses, dug into the ground and covered with wood and skins. In the subarctic region, groups like the Carrier and the Chippewa lived where they could find food. American Indians who lived in the California, Great Basin, and Plateau regions dealt with less harsh environments. Some of the 200 tribes that lived here were farmers, while others followed a hunter-gatherer lifestyle. The rainy Pacific Northwest provided abundant food. The people of the Northwest coastal region stayed in one place and built permanent settlements. They used cedar trees to build homes and canoes. The Southwest was drier than the Northwest, so the people there, including the Pueblo, had to irrigate their crops. The people of the Southeast region included the Nachos. No, that's cap. They were the Natchez. In their society, the ruler was called the Great Sun, who was at the top of the social classes. Other classes included Little Sons, who were members of the Great Sons family, such a cool name, nobles, honored people, and stinkards, the common people. By law, nobles had to marry stinkards. Even the Great Sun married a stinkard. This prevented one family from ruling too long. Why can't everybody name their groups like the Natchez did? Stinkards. The people of the Great Plains depended on hunting. Among them were the Sioux, who followed the great herds of buffalo. No part of that animal went to waste. They used the hides for clothing and for their teepees. Yay, teepees. They used the bones for tools and weapons, and of course they filled their bellies with beautiful bison meat. Eastern woodlands people hunted, fished, and foraged for plants in the heavy forest. Among them were the Iroquois, who cleared land to farm the Three Sisters, corn, squash, and beans. Super smart to plant these together. The plants work together to deter weeds and pests and enrich the soil. The corn offers a structure for the beans to climb, and the beans, in turn, help to replenish the soil with nutrients. The large leaves of squash and pumpkin vines provide living mulch that conserves water and provides weed control. Some of the Algonquin farmed as well, unless the soil where they lived was too poor for farming. While their religious beliefs varied, many American Indians felt a close connection to nature and the physical environment. Prayers and special ceremonies that included dancing and gifts honored the spirits. The Iroquois, or the people of the Longhouse, lived in present-day New York. They included 5 nations that were often in conflict: the Oneida, the Mohawk, the Seneca, the Onondaga, and the Cayuga. In the 1500s, Hiawatha was inspired to unite the 5 nations into the Iroquois League. Each group sent sachems to a central council each year. Okay, recap time. People were here in America long before Chris reintroduced the New World to the Old World. Just like you see anywhere else, different groups had different cultures, shaped largely by geographical regions. Some were nomadic and followed their food, and some stayed put and built houses. And that is pre-Columbian American cultural groups nutshelled. Thanks for stopping by Nutshelled History. Don't forget to like and subscribe. What cultural region would you pick to settle in? Let us know in the comments down below.